I'm often asked how we make naan breads, and they're cooked in the clay oven here at the restaurant. And the recipe is a little bit different to making a naan bread at home. I'm going to share the home recipe with you, but before I do that, I want you guys to know how it's cooked here at the restaurant. And with me to assist, we have Chef Lokinder. So Chef Lokinder, you're going to show me how we cook a naan bread in the clay oven. So firstly, you need to roll a naan bread out. And let's just make a plain naan bread to begin with. Okay, and then we put it on the pillow, oil side down and into the clay oven. And Chef can get it right down in there, and that will take about a minute to cook in the clay oven, so it cooks really, really fast. I call this hook and scrape. So you hook and then you scrape the naan bread off the wall of the clay oven. There you go, and that's perfect. All we need on that is brushing a little bit of ghee or butter, like that, and that looks delicious. Job well done, Chef. Alright, I've been left by myself and I've been put to the test by Chef. I'm not sure if I'm going to be as good as him, but let me give this a try. Right, so he took the naan bread, he dipped it in the flour, and then he used his muscles to roll it out. I don't think I've got muscles as big as him. There we go. And then he got some oil. And he did some finger movement like this. And then he slapped it from hand to hand. There you go, that's not that bad. And now I need my pillow. And over to the clay oven. And in there. Like that. I wasn't as quick as him, but that's not a bad try. And hopefully my one will take a minute to cook as well.
Hi, this is Dipna Anand, here to take you on a delightful culinary journey sure to tantalize your taste buds. Being born and brought up in and around a family of chefs and foodies, my passion for food whilst growing up grew stronger and continues to shine. My chef career has enabled me to produce restaurant-style dishes, and I also love to cook at home. My show, Dipping Kitchen, showcases both styles of cooking, where I reveal top tricks and tips to making delicious dishes, where my philosophy is to cook from your heart, have fun in the kitchen, and savor every dish you cook. You will surely love dipping into my kitchen.
Hello there, this is Dipping Kitchen with me, Chef Dipna. Today we have quite a few dishes in store for you to try and cook at home. We have a Karahi Prawns, a Tarka dal recipe, and my very own homemade naan bread recipe. You're going to love these. I'm going to start off by making the dough for my naan bread. So to make homemade naan bread, the recipe is a little bit different from making this in the restaurant, and I had good fun doing that with the chef. That was great. So plain flour in the bowl. What I also have here, some yeast and some warm water, and I've just left this for a few minutes. And I'm also going to add at this point some kalonji, what we call onion seeds. And this has a lovely onion flavoring, really, really nice. Some oil. Any vegetable oil is good for this. I need to add a little bit of sugar, some salt, seasoning, and then I need to bind it all together. And I have some milk, and of course the yeast that's been mixed with water can go in. Just obviously wait for that yeast to react, and that's why I had to leave it. And some full fat milk, and then using your hands, you're just mixing everything together. Start off with your fingertips as you would make a chapati dough. And then as it starts to come together, start to use the whole of your hand in the kneading motion. And you can add, if you need to, and I do need to for this, a bit more milk. So the recipe is a little bit different from the one that we cooked at the restaurant, the one we serve in the restaurant, in that at the restaurant we use self-raising flour to make our naan bread. And we also add yogurt to that mixture. There's no yogurt in this mixture, but it took me about 8 tries to perfect a naan bread recipe that works at home. And this is great. As you can see, what I'm doing is just using all of my muscle, kind of knuckles, to really knead this. And the more you knead, the better. I now need to leave this to prove, and the yeast will do its job. You can either cover it with some cling film, leave it in a warm place, or what I'm going to do is just leave it on the side here and cover it like so. Whilst that's proving, I can get on with a tadka dal recipe. Okay, so tadka dal is one of my favorites. I love to eat it with naan bread. It's great with a roti and fabulous with rice. So to make tadka dal, what I've got here, 2 types of lentils. I've got masoor dal, which is also known as red lentils, and I've got moong dal, which is known as yellow lentils. I'm going to combine the two. I've washed these and left them to soak for about 30 minutes just to make them nice and soft, which means they will cook even quicker. And my water is just about boiling. I'm going to add both of my dals into my water and the moong. So I'm going to boil that. I also need to add a little bit of turmeric for color in there and some salt for seasoning, although I am going to add some salt to my tadka, or my sauce that we make for the dal as well. So I'm just going to leave my lentils to boil, which will take about 15 to 20 minutes on a medium heat. And whilst they're boiling, I'm going to go ahead and make my tadka. Now tadka is made using a base of oils, or oil even, and then spices which are tempered in the oil with the addition of the onion. So let's start with our tadka. Instead of using, typically like I would, an oil, I've got some ghee. So I'm going to start off with my ghee, being my fat in the dish for this one. I'm now going to add my spices. So I need some cumin, which I'm going to sizzle in my oil, and that will take about a minute or so. I can already smell that ghee. I'm now going to add some ginger garlic paste into my tadka base, and then I need some green chilli in there. And now when you hear that sizzle, you know it's ready for your finely chopped onion, like so. And now at this stage, what I want to do is cook my onions until they reach that caramelized stage again. And it's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes on a high heat. I have a lovely foam that's been created by the ghee, and it smells absolutely wonderful, all this aroma. And underneath that foam, I have some caramelized onions that have cooked beautifully. I'm now going to add some fresh tomatoes, which I have chopped. And now, I'm just going to lower that, just keep an eye on that, give that a mix. As well, the lentils are cooking beautifully. Just keep an eye on your heat as well for the lentils. And turn it down a little bit if they're cooking quite nicely. You don't want the water to kind of come out of the pan. You have one dirty cooker otherwise. Okay, and to this onion and tomato tadka, I'm going to add some salt. We have seasoned the lentils, so let's go easy on the salt on the tadka. Some red chilli, green chilli is already in there. A little bit more spice and some turmeric as well. Like so. And that's already given such a bright colour to that base. I'm going to give that another 4 or 5 minutes And that should be ready for me to add my tarka into my lentils. Add my finishing touches, which will be my fresh coriander, garam masala, and some fenugreek, dried fenugreek. And I'll have a lovely lentil dish. My tarka masala sauce base is looking fantastic. You can see the ghee has seeped off the edges. That is cooked to perfection. Saying that, my lentils should thicken as I want them to, as well as cook. That is beautiful. That is perfect. And you can see, if you want to test this, just with your finger, press down, and you'll see the lentils will squish, and that's how you know the lentils are cooked. So, next stage is put my tarka into my lentils, like so. All of it in like that. Once that starts to mix together, you'll see that beautiful colour change, and it now looks like the tadka dal, as it should. And finishing touches, most important thing, garam masala, of course, our homemade one. Some kasturi methi, dried fenugreek, lovely thyme-like flavour, just in the palm of your hands and crush. And then some chopped coriander. I love coriander. Nice, zesty, fresh taste. Look at that. Really, really yummy. And you don't have to use masoor and moong. I mix the two. You can mix 4 or 5 lentils. Of course, using something like urad or a black lentil, you'll need a pressure cooker. But you'll be fine if you use the lentils that are easier to cook. And that is perfectly cooked. Only one thing left for me to do, just test for seasoning. You got that crunch from the onion, you got that chilli from the green chilli and red chilli that hits you afterwards. That's really good. Really, really nice. And that flavour, the flavour from the ghee really comes through. So it's one dish that is quick, simple and easy. That one is done. I'm going to leave that there whilst I get on and do my prep for my karahi prawns. In Indian cooking, it's all about doing your prep. The mise en place is extremely important. You've got your onions prepped, you've got your ginger garlic paste, your green chilies, and the rest will follow. So I'm going to go and do my prep for my karahi prawns. Naan bread is proving well. My lentils are cooked. I'm now going to make a dish which I absolutely love. It's karahi prawns. It's one that I do on my cookery courses, and it's fantastic. I think it's a dish that comes out most perfect. So to make karahi prawns, we need to start with some oil, like so. And that's already hot, so I'm going to begin to sizzle my spices in the oil. So some cumin. I also need some whole dried red chillies, and these aren't as hot as the fresh, but they're dried and the skin has a beautiful strong flavour. I've forgotten to add a spice, the whole dhania. It goes in like so. Whole dhania is really nice, strong and pungent. Those are cooking well. I don't want to overcook them, so I'm going to add some onions like so. Beautiful. Whole dhania is one spice I absolutely love using. Full of dietary fibre. And I am just going to cook that base off for about 5 to 6 minutes, just until the onions are nice and golden. And in the meantime, I'm going to do the rest of my preparation. And I'm just paisaning the pieces, cutting into squares. Let's do the same to the onion. So nice big chunks of onion, like so. All my prep for my prawns is really done. The beauty of this dish is it cooks really quickly, and prawns don't need long to cook at all. And if you don't like prawns, so you're not a seafood lover, then a karahi chicken is just as good, or a lamb. I have some lovely caramelized onions. This is not a typical curry dish where we have to really cook the masala. Karahi prawns is you cook the onions just until they're nice and caramelized and brown, and the spices are nice and roasted. Perfect. Next, ginger garlic paste. And this is fresh ginger, fresh garlic in equal amounts, put into a little coffee grinder with some water and made into a paste. Okay, some green chilies, a bit of spice in there, and that's going to go really well with those dried red chilies. All that flavour in that skin. And now I am ready to go in with some plum peel tomato, like so. You can use tin tomato or you can use fresh. Of course, fresh is always better. And now we can go in with our spices. Just be careful at this stage, the masala will start to spit and splash. And this is the time in the kitchen when my dad's cooking, he takes a huge step back. Okay, colour, turmeric. Some salt for seasoning. Ah, there we go. The spitting has started. A little bit of red chilli, like so. And now I'm going to give that a mix. And also add at this stage, which cooks the masala faster and of course gives that nice buttery taste. The butter, as my dad says, makes the sauce smooth, and it's optional, you don't have to add it. I am now just going to cook that off for another 4 or 5 minutes, just until my masala has fully cooked, and then go in with the next ingredient, of course ours, some prawns. And I've got the, there you go, spitting, I've got the lovely king prawns, and they're perfect for the curry. And I'm now going to cover it before I get splashed anymore for about 4 or 5 minutes. My sauce should be, and it is, cooked really nicely. The oil is just beginning to seep out. It's sizzling. That's a real masala there. And now the prawns. You can buy frozen prawns, king prawns like these. Even works with shrimps. So this is absolutely delicious, and I'm just coating all the prawns in that flavoursome, vibrant looking masala. And that just needs 1 or 2 minutes before I add my peppers and my onions that I've paysaned. And then after that, literally 4 to 5 more minutes, and we'll have a spectacular dish, obviously not forgetting our finishing touches. And one of my finishing touches that goes really well with seafood dishes is the ajwan. Call it the carom seeds. Really nice, strong, herby flavour. And we add it to a lot of our seafood dishes in the restaurant as well. And let's just add these peppers, and that will totally change the look of the dish. Onions, and now just 3 or 4 minutes before we add the final touches. And this has been constantly on a medium heat. And I'm gonna start rolling out my naan bread just as soon as I've done my karahi prawns. Just a few minutes before we add our finishing touches. My prawns are cooked perfectly. I don't want to overcook them. It's very easy to overcook prawns, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going right in there with my finishing touches. Some fresh chopped coriander, some garam masala, like that. Some fenugreek dried, my favorite, crushed like so. The carom that I've already crushed, just a little bit. You don't want to overpower this with too much carom. It does have quite a strong flavor. And a final 30 seconds. And that is a karahi prawn cooked to perfection. All I need to do now is roll out some naan breads, get them in the oven, and I can look forward to a feast. My naan bread dough has been proving for just over an hour, and you can see the size has almost doubled, and that will give us enough for about 5 naan breads. My oven is preheating, and I've got it preheating on 250, and you need that intense heat to cook a naan bread. So it's the same principle as cooking it in the clay oven. The clay oven, it cooks for 1 minute on about 400 degrees plus. In the home oven, 250 for about 2.5 minutes. And I'm going to show you how that's done. So I'm just rolling the peda, as we call it, in a ball like so, and then dipping into flour on one side, pressing it down, and on the other like so. And then I like coriander on top of my naan bread, so just a few. You've got to be kind of really push it in. It will, of course, some of it will fall off, that's not a big deal. And then using your rolling pin, we are just rolling using our muscles. I like doing that until it becomes nice and round, and also not thin like a chapati. We need to keep it quite thick, as a naan bread is in a restaurant. So this is the next best thing to a naan bread cooked in the clay oven. And if you like it kind of with the actual naan bread shape, you can kind of shape that side of it and pull it a little bit so it looks like a proper naan bread. I'm going to make my ones just nice and round, and you can see the thickness there. It's about 2 millimeters, and that's perfect. I've lightly greased an oven tray, and this will need to cook on one side for about 1.5 minutes, and then the remainder we'll just turn it over and cook that off. So in my oven, and I'll need to keep an eye on this for 1.5 minutes, and then I'll turn it over. This is perfect, great, cooked on both sides, lovely. Just turn that over. Who says you can't make naan bread at home? A little bit of butter on there. And that is 1 naan bread done, a few more to go. And the same principle. That will probably make me about 4 or 5 naan breads. Perfect. And that cooked within minutes, so about 1.5 minutes from one side, turn it over, and 1 minute on the other side. And just keep watching it whilst it's cooking. And some coriander to flavour. You can, if you like the stuffed naan bread idea, stuff it with some garlic or some mince. If you were putting garlic, for example, in there, all you'd do is add the garlic and then kind of close it up like you would a dim sum, and then start to roll again, just like so. Okay. How does it rotate by itself? It's just practice. And turn it around like so. And now if you want to make it really nice and authentic, let's just stretch it on one side like you would a proper restaurant naan bread. A bit on this side. There you go, that's like an oval, nice oval naan bread shape. Back onto the tray, in the oven. All set and ready, 3 fantastic dishes. Plating up some Karahi prawns. My naan breads have cooked so perfectly. My quick, easy prawn dish. Get a bit of sauce in there like that. Garnish with a few pepper juliennes, a little bit of colour. And I've got my favourite micro herbs. I like giving dishes height. Plating up some Tarka dal. Lovely. And I'm going to serve this with a bowl of rice, plain steamed rice. Really doesn't get better. And seeing as it is a Tarka dal, I've also made an oil which I've infused with a little bit of turmeric and red chilli just for some garnish, just like so. I've got some fried onions, just deep fried onions, more micro herbs. And this one's one that's called bull's blood. And that is a feast, and I can't wait to dig in. I have thoroughly enjoyed today's show. I hope you have too, and I hope you try all of my recipes. Don't forget to follow me on social media. One thing left for me to do, and that's dip in. See you soon.